Hey YouTube, it's your girl Chic from Chic Say What. I am back yet again. Listen, we got to talk about our girl Lizzo. She needs several hugs. So I'm going to give it a minute to let some people try to get in here, but we need to talk about her. Our girl been going through it. I promise it seemed like she go through it at least once or twice a quarter. So we'll get into it tonight on the latest cries of Lizzo. Why is our girl Lizzo crying yet again? I feel like she stayed crying. And it seemed like she'll cry, cuss you out afterwards, and then exit with a smile. Like, I'd be so confused. It'd be like multiple emotions in one TikTok video or live Instagram. I don't know, because I guess it ain't an option to cry in silence. What they say, move in silence. Not our girl Lizzo. Nah, she gonna cry. Nah, I'm gonna start this camera, prop it up on this little table, and shed these tears to the world, because it does me no good to shed them by myself. That's what I take out of when I see Lizzo cry every other month, it seems like, on the gram. I cannot. I be trying to understand, to sympathize, to empathize, or whatever eyes. I be trying, y'all, but it's a lot. Like, Lizzo got me emotionally tapped out. So I know sis got to be bent. She got to be emotionally tapped out her own self, because she be crying too much. She be crying entirely too much. And then after she cries, it ends with her suddenly being all good. So it's just like, okay. So let's get into it. She's upset because she's not receiving favorable responses in totality of her new song, Rumors, featuring Cardi B. I don't know if how many of you all listened to the song, but I did. She's saying, well, what I've learned, I didn't hear her specifically say in her live when she was crying in her wig cap and set it off braids, what exactly she was crying over as far as what was the exact comment. But in my research of this video, I learned that people had been calling her a mammy, and that they had been accusing her of catering to white folks. Yeah. So Lizzo is butthurt over that, because according to the video she put out there where she was crying in her wig cap, she said she be working hard for y'all and she don't feel like she's loved. So she got a problem with that, because everybody not loving her. And I guess she loving everybody, but they not loving her back. And she got a problem with that. So she felt the need to turn that camera on, prop her phone up, and let the tears start rolling. So the rumors, I want to get into the lyrics of the song Rumors, because basically from my understanding, it's like the premise of the song is her talking about things that are true, but she's calling them rumors, but they are true. So that's my little understanding of the song. If any of you got a different understanding, let me know. But there was one line that kind of caught me off guard, but I'm like, okay. And I found an article on it when I was doing my research for this video, and I'll do a screen share so you guys can see. But yeah. So Lizzo reveals truth behind that Drake shout out in rumors. He's very cool. So I was caught off guard, guys, when I heard her say the line about Drake. I was like, okay. So it says, step aside, caption America, because Lizzo's latest public flirtationship is all about a certain Canadian rapper. Lizzo sent tongues wagging with the lyrics of her new single Rumors, which tackles everything from online trolls and her diet to her love life, including a shout out to Drake in which the singer declares, "No, I ain't effed Drake yet." So when I heard that line in the song, I'm like, okay, wow, like that's what we doing? Is that what our goals are right now? So I guess, that was one of the many things that kind of was a standout of the song. But yeah, that line, I would say I only kind of played it once, but that was like the standout line for me. So yeah. So I don't know, as far as let's see if it talks about if Drake responded to it. So this is Lizzo and Drake. In a new interview with Apple Music's Zane Lowe, the 3-time Grammy winner joked that name-dropping Drake was all part of greater manifestation plan. Okay. See, Lizzo be putting her stuff out there in the streets. The last time I recall her crying was when, she had, I don't know if it was around her birthday. She went on vacation or something. And she had this man in her video. And people was saying that I'm sorry. Let me start over. She was on vacation. She had a man with like a nice body. It was a man in pictures. So it was pictures caught of them like on the beach or whatever. People were saying, oh, they must be filming a video. But sis was kind of trying to paint the narrative like she was like just chilling, I guess having a vacation, enjoying time. And y'all, look, this is my company. But folks was not buying it, y'all. So they started, listen, y'all know the Twitter, Insta people ain't got no chill. They were trying to say, nah, y'all, I bet you she working on a music video. He got paid to be there. He is not there for free. This, that, and third. Next thing you know, she got that camera propped up, that tissue in hand, and them tears rolling. Every time, it's almost like Cardi B, how Cardi B is hypersensitive but Cardi don't come to you with the tears though. That's the thing. Cardi gonna come to you and cuss you out in front of that camera. But Cardi ain't coming with the tears. She's coming with the passion. Everybody can get it. But with Lizzo's crying. Lizzo is straight crying. But before she signs off, it's like her mood will change. Like I said, you getting cussed out, you get a smile and peace out. And then the next day you see a video with her doing a whole dance routine on TikTok. So it's like, what did I miss? It's like sis will go through every emotion possible in a single live or TikTok. And it's like, okay, what are we doing here? Are we looking at someone with bipolar disorder? I don't know. I'm just trying to figure this thing out because I'm getting too many emotions within one clip. So I'm not sure which one to go with. So I'm going to sum it up and just say sis has emotional problems that she needs to deal with. And we're going to start with self-esteem issues. Lizzo needs to she needs to take a break and deal with whatever's going on with her internally. And I feel like whatever she got going on internally, this stuff is like rooted back to like childhood type stuff, where just because she's rich and famous today, it doesn't make everything else about her life like go away. Like Lizzo, like no matter how much money she got, she's still the big girl. No matter how much money she got, that hot guy over there that she might be eyeing, not eyeing her back. So when we do hear about Lizzo's name being connected with another man's name, another attractive man's name, it's almost like, okay, Lizzo is thirst trapping in that story. It's not ever where, okay, it's two people, they've linked up. Now there's whispers of maybe them seeing each other, them talking. Oh, it's never that. It is never that. It's always like this one-sided situation. And then 24 to 48 hours later, Lizzo is crying. And in these cries, she's talking about how hard people are on her. And then she always ends it with some type of way to let us know that she's all good and she's still that big. Like, that's the part I'm confused about. Like, which emotion is the real emotion? So if any of you have seen that last video that she did, just talking about how people coming for her, you know exactly what I'm saying. I pulled the lyrics to the song. So let me try to bring up that so we can see what exactly is our girl talking about. What are the rumors? Let's look up these rumors. These rumors that Lizzo is putting out. Let's start there. Okay. So you can see my screen. Let's get into these rumors. Rumors. Here's the intro. They don't know I do it for the culture. Goddamn, they say I should watch the shit I post. Oh, goddamn, say I'm turning big girls into hoes. Oh, goddamn, they say I get groupies at my shows. Oh, goddamn. Okay. All the rumors are true. Yeah. What you heard, that's true. Yeah. I effed him and you. Yeah. If you believe I do that, had to cut some hoes loose. Yeah. NDA, no loose lips. Now them hoes trying to sue me. B, I don't give two shits. All the rumors are true. Yeah, I've been in the bamboo. Yeah, focused on the music. My ex he blew it last year. I thought I would lose it. Reading ish on the internet. My smoothie cleanse and my diet. No, I ain't F Drake yet. Ha. Listen, I don't understand how you come out with a whole song with those lyrics that are supposed to be quote unquote rumors. And then 2 seconds later, you are on the internet crying, talking about people don't love you like you feel like they should. Like everybody, like the way she was crying, something like any of us are going to get, we all are going to get critics, have people critique us for whatever. Like no one's going to just be loving you all the time. Like that's anybody. Everybody don't love Beyonce. Everybody don't love Nicki Minaj. Everybody don't love me. Lizzo, everybody surely don't love you. So why are we out here crying because of that? Why? I would think that with some type of training, with what do you call that? Where these celebrities take these what do you call that? Where you're going through training where you're learning how to maybe handle the media and all of that. Like, sis, did you go through any of that? Because I would like to think that there is some part of that training where it talks about critics. It talks about comments on the internet. Listen, one thing I always say, Beyonce, you hear all kinds of stuff about her. When the last time we heard sis respond to anything somebody has said to her negative? Like, you just can't help but to wonder if she even read the comment, because she comes off as so unbothered because she doesn't give it energy. So like I said a little while ago, using Cardi B as an example, Cardi gives everything energy. If you want to get Cardi's attention, say something sideways to her and it gets on the internet. Oh, Cardi coming for you. She gonna respond, and it ain't gonna be with any tears. I don't think I've ever seen that woman in front of a camera really just crying. I might even seen her one time have a sniffle in the midst of cussing you to H out. Like Cardi just, she ain't coming at you crying, but she coming at you with a lot of energy, a lot of emotion, a lot of passion. But I feel like she needs to work on just staying out of the comments, not entertaining everything that people are saying. Just like when she was going back and forth with Tasha K, like it was almost like Tasha was taunting her because Cardi was responding. It's like Cardi was giving it energy. So because she was giving it energy, the whole argument, everything was like picking up. And Tasha K was getting more and more popular because of her name being connected to Cardi B. You don't think that was strategy? Tasha K has admitted several times that her highest clicks, her videos with the most clicks are videos where she's talked about Cardi B. That's why she won't take them down. That's why she won't take them down. So my thing is, you can't entertain everything that's been said about you, celebrity or not. You have to develop a thick skin. Because if you don't, you'll end up like Lizzo crying all the time. And it's not a good look, sis. It's not. Go get help. I feel like Cardi's not going off of Cardi. I feel like Lizzo, I don't feel like she's happy in her body or what she looks like. However, her image is to put out there that she is. Let me say that again. I do not feel like Lizzo is happy with her body and her image. But what she is paid to do is to present this narrative that she is. And I say this is because if it were true of the image that she put out there about herself, she would not be on the internet crying as much as she does. Crying about, she's been on there crying. One of the more recent cries was about her weight and things like that. Like, people who are happy within, who are happy about themselves, their lives, whatever it may be, they're not crying all the time. Crying a lot is it also is one sign of depression. Like that's one of the, you can cry for many reasons, but people who are depressed cry a lot too. And I believe, if I can recall, Lizzo talked about dealing with depression before. So that's something that has to be explored. But the way she cries and responds to things, it makes me feel like that's what we're seeing play out. Lizzo is not happy with herself, how she looks. I truly feel like she wants to be smaller. But little toggles or battles between what she wants to be and what she's paid and expected to be. So my thing is, Lizzo's brand is being an obese woman that's happy in her body, that has this sex appeal, that don't care what anybody say, that's getting to the bag, all of this. But Lizzo, I feel deep down, wants to look completely different. She wants to look maybe a quarter of her size. Like, I feel like she wants to lose the weight. She wants to revamp, rechange her image. However, like I said, her brand is the image that she presents now. So it's like, okay, if I lose all this weight, will my fans still be there? Will I still get the contracts? Will I still have my niche? Like, I feel like if she lose the weight, she has her money, her bag on the line. So it's just like, okay, being obese, looking the way I do, not having a man, I have the money and the celebrity from the entertainment side. However, I feel like if I change my body, get to that healthy version of me, my fans are going to leave me. I'm not going to be looked at as being special by my brand, by the label, because they're going to be like, okay, well, now you can be in the category with any other skinny or small girl. Because think about it, who else is in the category with Lizzo right now? Like, she got her whole category. I heard someone ask the question, is there a white woman, a white Lizzo out there? Like, think about just the white music, the white genre. Like, do they have a Lizzo where you have this obese woman that's pushed to the forefront and she get in the bag? Like, I couldn't think of anybody in the white community that kind of has the like the appearance or like a brand, whatever Lizzo stand for. I couldn't think of anybody. So I feel like Lizzo is kind of like she's popular because she caters to the people who are overweight, who do struggle with their body maintaining a healthy weight, who do deal with criticism, or the term I hate, fat shaming. I hate anything when you throw shaming on the end of it, but that's just the thing that's out there. Like, she's there, it's almost like she's their superhero. And have you guys ever noticed, like, a celebrity, if they lose weight, you ever look in the comments and you see people kind of start talking negatively about them? Like, I remember when Jasmine Sullivan, y'all, lost weight. Like, she had to have done it like a year or so ago. And she had posted these pictures on her Instagram. Man, y'all, like, people had a whole problem that she had lost weight, and she didn't even look unhealthy. She said she lost the weight because her mom was going through something like medical wise, like with her health, and she needed to get on a healthy diet. So Jasmine was like, oh, yo, we gonna do this thing together. Like, you, my mom, and your daughter, we finna be in this thing together. And as a result of it, Jasmine lost a lot of weight and she looked good. She's still, the last time I seen her, still was maintaining like the weight loss and she looked good. But when I read the comments, like, people was not here for the smaller version of Jasmine. Like, they were not. And I'm wondering, or even like Adele has gotten the business with her weight loss. Like, I will admit, like, I did not recognize Adele when I seen. I'm like, who is Harpo? Who is that woman? Who is this? Because she looked like a whole new woman. But I didn't think it looked bad. She just looked different. So it's like, I wonder if because of like just Americans alone, most Americans like have like, I believe most of them are overweight. And do people just feel more connected or more comfortable if they're seeing someone like in their image or looks like them as far as their weight? So it's like, okay, well, if you change it up, they no longer have you as that person to look up to. So therefore, it's just like, okay, well, why you change? Why did you conform? As though being healthy shouldn't have been like an option. You guys remember back in the day, Monique used to refer to the skinny women as skinny bees. And then next thing you know, she lost weight and she was on and trying to become a skinny bee. Like, really? So it was almost like okay, Monique, were you just low key jealous because at that time you weren't looking like these women that you would have liked to have looked like? And then fast forward, you lost the weight, got it off, and we ain't heard Monique talking about the skinny bees since then. So I think that's what it comes down to a lot, where people will criticize people for a change that they made because it's a change that they themselves haven't been able to make. So therefore, they want to make it like it's a whole problem because they made a change. And the reason why it's really a whole problem is because it's a change that you haven't been able to make for yourself. It all goes back to accountability, like being accountable. To lose weight, you have to be accountable because nobody can do that for you, sis, but you. You can go and have surgery all day long, but here's the thing: even when you go have surgery, you got to put in the work to maintain it. The last I checked, most people who have the gastric bypass, they put that weight back on. Some doctors don't even approve for their patients to receive the gastric bypass. Why? Because they don't feel like they mentally can handle it. I know people who have gotten denied it. I don't know if you all know, but even part of that process, you got to go through a psych evaluation before you can even be approved for that gastric surgery. because they want to make sure that you understand how you got here. So therefore, you don't get back here again. I personally know someone who had it, gained the weight, went back to the doctor to get approved for another one, and he said no. And he said no because he felt like, well, you don't even understand. You haven't even accepted the part that you got to do. You got to put the work in. I know people who had the surgery and since then have still never stepped one foot inside of the gym because they so anti working out. They just want the easy way out, but you can't maintain it with that mindset. Everything requires work. Everything. Lizzo can be the most successful twerker, singer, dancer, actress in the world. But the one thing that she got to do that she can't do by just somebody liking her is to look smaller. That's the work got to come in there at. As we see, everything else comes so easy for her. But the thing that don't is the weight loss. Everybody has their thing that they're challenged with. We all have it. We all have that thing. But here it is that we have to seek the proper help to address that thing, to learn how to deal with that thing. We can't continue to bury that thing underneath and then hope that it can stay there and nobody knows it's a thing, but it is a whole thing. And then when something happens, you're triggered and then that thing resurfaces. It's so easy for us to criticize other people, even as people say criticize Lizzo. It's easy to sit behind what they call, I heard somebody call it keyboard thugs. Hey, Rose Gold, want to say hi. I seen your comment, but girl, I was just going off. People, it's easy for somebody to sit behind a keyboard and criticize the next person. Guess what? They have their own insecurities that they're dealing with. So it's easier to magnify, to highlight the next person's insecurities because, okay, all eyes is on them. They not over here seeing me sitting on a bed eating my Oreos, because 9 times out of 10, these women that be criticizing and going hard on Lizzo, a lot of them, they body ain't where they want it to be either. They may be overweight. They might be smaller than Lizzo, but I bet you they overweight. Why? Because majority of the Americans are overweight. So they're criticizing her for things, the same struggles like that she has going on. But Lizzo is just in the forefront. She's she's on the screen, so everybody can see her. Everybody can see her insecurities. Whereas our insecurities, they're not on a stage, they're not on a platform. But it doesn't make our insecurities any smaller or less severe or any bigger. Like, it's none of that. The only difference between Lizzo and people who are talking about her is that Lizzo is on a stage. Lizzo is the size of many Americans. Ladies, think about it. Men, gentlemen, anybody who's listening, think about just when you just moving about in your day-to-day life, what the person walking beside you look like. Lizzo looking like that person, but Lizzo got the bag. Lizzo ain't looking too much different than your daggone person you just walked past in Walmart. I promise you that. Rose Gold, they're projecting their insecurities on her. Of course. But the thing is, I always say, when you know who you are, no one can come along and tell you otherwise. When you know who you are, no one can come along and tell you otherwise. Lizzo does not know who she is. And every time she gets on the internet and she cries, it becomes that much apparent. Lizzo needs help. She said in her video, she has 0 friends. She just has the friends that work with her. Boo, them are not your friends. Those are people on payroll. Your friends are not on payroll. Let me say that again. Those are not your friends. Those are your employees. They're on payroll. They're going to tell you whatever you need to hear to get you out that bathroom with that tissue, wiping your tears so you can get out there in front of that camera, so you can take them pictures at that photo shoot and you can get that face beat for that next show. So therefore you can get paid and in turn we can get paid. You see how this thing work? Like Lizzo, in their mind, sis, it is not about you. It is not all about you. We need you so we can get paid. So get yourself together. That's why Lizzo is not being told what she really needs to be told. If Lizzo had friends that she says she didn't have outside of the industry, she would have somebody telling her this type of information. If they were solid, this is the type of information they would be telling her. She mentions, well, I got a couple of friends, but they live out of state. Okay, so that means y'all ain't even talking on the phone. Like, because you started your comment with, I don't even have any friends. Like, if you had friends, that wouldn't even roll off your tongue because you knew you had friends. Think about it. Think about in your own personal life. If you got friends, would you start a statement by saying, I don't have any friends, but then circle back around and start coming up with some randoms that's your friend? It don't work that way. That's like somebody asking you, do you got siblings? And you be like, well, no, I'm only child. Oh, no, I got a brother and a sister. No, you told the truth the first time. You don't have friends. And that's the problem. Let's talk about why you don't have friends. That part. Why don't you have friends? Why don't you have friends? Lizzo, do you strategically surround yourself by people who tell you what you want to hear? How many of us know people who do that? Or you see people surrounding themselves around people that you can tell, you can see that they ain't keeping it 100, just even within your own family, where you see they're a hot mess because people just been telling them what they want to hear and nobody been telling them what they need to hear. It's evident that's what's going on in Lizzo's life. She's not being told the truth. What they say, the truth will set you free. She hasn't been set free. And when I look at her, I see her self-destructing. It's almost like somebody's dying inside. Like that's what I see. I don't see a happy woman. Lizzo is a character. I see a character. I see someone who's very sad and broken, but they know how to just put on a face to get out there to perform. We used to hear talks about that, like with Michael Jackson. You see how he get out there and he perform, and it's almost like an alter ego. He was just this other person. But then when you see him and he interview and he sit down with Oprah or whatever, it was almost like he was just this sad man or this little boy all over again. But all he knew just from a child, he talked about having to get out there and perform, getting beat by his dad. Like you get up there and you keep getting beat until you get those moves right. That carried until his adulthood. So all he knew how to do was perform. There's so many people who live their lives like that right now. They just know how to perform. There's no life behind them. Have you guys ever heard people just even talk about Beyonce where they say it doesn't seem like she has a personality? It's like when she goes on stage, she's Sasha Fierce. She's somebody completely different. But then when you see her come off stage, she's kind of like a shy person. Or when you hear her do interviews, it's like a whole nother person. You ever see like with Solange's energy? To me, I looked at her Solange, her little sister, as that little sister that recognized she knows the real deal. She knows who her sister is. She knows my sister is fragile for whatever reason. She can't deal with that. But Solange got this energy of, I got time today because you can get it from me. B, go sit down. I got this. It's almost like she's guarding her sister because she knows what her big sister's limitations are. She knows that her sister don't have that same strength as she has. So she go in protective mode. More often than not, a lot of times we see that with the older sibling, but with them, we see it play out with the baby sister. Oh, you want to, like with the elevator incident. We don't know what that was all about, but it's speculated it was about Jay-Z and being disrespectful in his marriage to her sister. So she like, yo, bro, you can get this. My sister might not be handling you like this, but I'm finna take care of it. That's that energy. They have two different energies. Lizzo don't have an energy like that in her corner. She don't have anybody in her corner that's there to protect her, that's there to really tell her the real deal of what's going on. So this is what we see. It's playing out. It's very apparent. And these are thoughts that I had about her prior to her jumping on live, excuse me, and crying again. Like, sis, you need help. You ain't got nobody in your corner saying you need help. Let's go ahead in between these shows, go get you some counseling sessions. I ain't never heard you talking about you getting help. Every now and then we get a one-off picture of you in a gym trying to bust a move with doing something workout related. But to me, looking at you, it's evident you not consistent with it, because we ain't seeing no difference in your opinion. I mean, not in your, in your appearance. So are you just doing that? Is that a photo op? Like, that's not how we get to the healthy weight. If that's what you trying to get. I've heard you talk about, your weight and the struggles. I've heard you do TikToks, you eating carrots and healthy stuff. Like, I've seen you do videos or post things on your socials where you're trying to do better. But from what I've seen, I haven't seen you show consistency. And because if you were showing consistency, it would play out in what we're seeing as far as when it comes to your body. We're going to see the weight loss. We're not seeing that. We just see you cry about, okay, being fat or people talking about you, which lets me know that you don't like being fat. Because if you liked being fat, like, you wouldn't be fazed with somebody calling you fat. Like, that's how this thing works. Like, if you happy with you and like what you see in the mirror, what somebody else is saying, you're unfazed, you're unbothered. But sis, you're very bothered. And my thing is, if you are bothered, do something about it. Be willing to accept what's going to come along with it if you choose you. If you choose you first. If you choose you over the money or the fame, because you losing weight may result in a decline in the sales of your records, a decline in opportunities. Life's about choices. You have to figure out what's most important. And I've heard a lot of Black people talk about, they feel like Lizzo is kind of like a prop for the white people, as far as like the what was that, where they, back in the day, where they would have the bigger person, like a Black person, and they'll take them around and have them like kind of put them on display for people to like laugh and point at, or whatever, the minstrel show, I think that's what they call it. Like, that's what they view Lizzo at. Like, as though Lizzo think that people are laughing with her, but they're laughing at her. Like, those white folks, they're not laughing with her, they're laughing at her. And she's not seeing it like that. And a lot of Black people that's how they're looking at it. They're looking at it as though, okay, she's being used. She's a character. She's someone to look at and to point at and take pictures, like somebody who, almost like a clown, when you go to a show and a clown gets up there and they perform and they do all kinds of silly stuff. It's like that's how I see that Black people collectively look at her. That's what I get up out of it. When I read the comments and see how people react to her. If any of you are familiar with Dr. Boyce Watkins, he gets accused a lot of like shaming her and things like that, because usually every time she come out with something or she be crying, he'll go on his channel or post maybe something on one of his socials about it. And his thoughts are, I just feel like that she's being used, and she's presenting something that's not healthy for our community, she's pushing this narrative that it's okay to be obese when it's not. Part of like a lot of these pre-existing conditions that's impacting our community when it comes to illnesses. And just think about the pandemic that we got going on. A lot of our Black people that are getting impacted by it, that are not surviving it, they had weight issues. They were overweight. They had these pre-existing conditions that combined with just this virus, like it just was a bad combination and they didn't make it. So Lizzo liking being fat or overweight, like it's beyond that. It's about what's healthy, what's going to keep you around the longest. Lizzo, if you love people, you want them to love you. Don't you want to stick around for that? Because at the rate you're going, if you continue to carry on all of this weight, that's going to impact your life. What do you saw? Your life expectancy. That's just science. That has nothing to do with me wanting Lizzo to live until she 110. It has nothing to do with that. It's just science. What can your body handle? The body is not meant to carry that much weight. It's not. And I feel like Lizzo knows this. But again, for her to change her body, what she looks like, it requires a different type of work, a different type of effort than she feels she's capable of giving. Like, it's like, oh, I can get on a song, I can write a song in 10 minutes. I can, twerk for 20 minutes straight. Those are things that she can just do in her sleep. But when it comes to weight loss, it's like, wow, that's hard. I can't do that, but I can sing you a song. So it's like she wants people to focus on the things that she can do, like her wins, the positive things. It's like, don't look at my body size. Don't look at that part. Don't pay attention to that part. Just pay attention to this good over here. But that's not happening. So she's in her feelings about that because she can't control that. She has no control over the things that people say about her. She has no control. So she has a problem with that, because it's just like, you guys are so mean. It's almost like I feel as though she wants to guilt people into saying just kind things about her, opposed to her making some personal changes that she really deep down would like to make, but she just don't know how to do it. And I feel like with the proper counsel, if she deals with that emotional and that psychological trauma that she has going on, that she's endured, if she gets healing from there, it'll then result in her finding peace and being able to be there, be able to do the work that it would take for her weight loss journey. Like, even back, you guys, when we would watch those what, The Biggest Loser, those shows and stuff, they would deal with the psychological parts of the weight loss and how you got here. Like, when you've put so much weight on, you cannot not deal with that. Any type of show I've watched where it was about someone's journey in their weight loss journey, the psychological and the emotional traumas, like, that was always addressed. Because for someone to become obese, they overate. Why did you overeat? Because it's not the normal body. It's not the normal body. The normal body does not just have the desire to overeat, because if that was the case, we wouldn't have your normal healthy body range. All that wouldn't exist. So we know that that's not how the normal body operates. So it's going to be something else that's impacting you, that's resulting in the overeating, that's then results in you being overweight or obese. So we got to deal with that, because we got to address that and get healing there. So therefore we can put a stop to the overeating. And that's that part that I feel like Lizzo was struggling with whether she tried to deal with that part, whether it was just too painful to continue to talk about that part, um, or whether or not she's like, no, I don't want to talk about that. You know, you got some people who've dealt with things in their life, various types of trauma, and they want to put it in like a chest, lock it up, throw away the key, and never open and explore it again. And then as a result of them doing that, you're seeing all kinds of craziness and chaos play out in their life. And then we know why their life looked the way it does. We know because of something that happened or whatever, but they choose to ignore, not want to deal with it, say, oh, well, that doesn't matter. That's a part of my past, or I don't want to talk about it, or I gave it to God. You know, our Black community, we're good for just giving everything to God. The idea of going to a counselor, we don't even collectively look at it as, okay, maybe counselors are God sent. How about that? Maybe that's the reason why they are in existence, is for you to be able to, like, is to work through someone else. Like maybe God sent that person to be a support to you, to help you navigate through. Like, it's different ways that we got to look at it, but I feel like people don't want to look at it that way because it forces them to have to deal with whatever that thing is. People don't want to deal with their stuff. Everybody has stuff, but not everyone deals with their stuff. And the people who choose to not deal with their stuff, you see dysfunction in their lives. See, people who choose to deal with their stuff, you see that their lives tend to move in a different way. You see less drama, less havoc. They seem more important. They seem to move with purpose. They seem to have a sense of clarity because they've chosen to deal with their stuff. But people who've chosen to not deal with their stuff, what you see them drink a lot, you know, they're trying to drown it out with alcohol. They're trying to pop pills, you know, to numb themselves. You ever hear anyone say that they do what they do, such as the alcohol or drugs, to numb themselves so they don't have to feel? Like, I've heard that a lot. People don't want to feel because it hurts. And their thing is, whenever I feel, it hurts. It never feels good. So I do these things. Or have you ever heard of people who cut themselves? They say, well, I do it so I can feel something. Because if I don't do that, I don't ever feel anything. See, it's layers to it, y'all. It's not so surfaced. And we look at Lizzo, and many of us may look and be like, oh, she's just crying again, and they leave it at that. It's deeper than that. It's deeper than that. And I think the only ones who look at it to be deeper than that is the ones who truly are showing, who truly give a damn, which I think there's very few people. There's very few people. And the ones who are just saying, girl, you're still beautiful, you're this or that, they're not doing her a service. You can tell her you're beautiful, but you can't just leave it at that. You're beautiful, but let's talk about how we can get you healing and help. Forget these shows that we talked about, this tour we talked about. Let's talk about getting you healing. That part. Let's talk about some things that ain't got nothing to do with going to make a dime or a dollar. That part. That's not what's taking place. That's not what's taking place. It's just pat her on the back, give her some tissue. You okay, girl? You beautiful. Forget them people. Come on over here. Let's take a selfie together. Drake said, hey, he just called. He said, give him a call. Like, what? And then next thing you know, like I said, in 24 to 48 hours, she got a TikTok and her mama dancing, twerk. Like, I can't make this stuff up, y'all. And if y'all know anything about Lizzo, y'all know I am not lying. I just be like, oh my God, like, this is the craziest ever. I literally, like, said months ago, I'm like, Lizzo cry. It feel like every once a month she crying. I was just telling my, like, because it had been a minute where I had heard her cry. I'm like, damn, where Lizzo at? Because I only hear about her when she crying. Sure enough, okay, Lizzo crying. And it's sad when somebody can set a clock to, or a timer to when You're going to cry again. That's when we know that there's a problem, because you shouldn't be crying this much. And the fact that you choose, because she even said it on her live, well, yeah, my people, my work, they don't know I'm crying. I came here to cry to y'all. That lets you know it's attention. If you strategically turned the camera on to cry to your fans, why you couldn't cry in silence? It's attention. So it's a lot that's playing out right now with Lizzo. Lizzo is someone who's starved for attention. Period. Like, it's so obvious that she's starved for attention. She's like that kid that's still saying, look at me over here. I can do a cartwheel, almost like, let's just say, it's a house, there's multiple kids in a household, and you got that middle child. You got the baby that's getting the attention. You got the oldest one, that's trying to maybe get ready to go off to college. And you got that middle child who's starved for attention, who's, hey, mom, dad, look at my artwork. Look what I can draw. Okay, not right now, David. Not right now. We got to get your brother Justin get ready, for college. Oh, and your sister over there, she's hungry, so I need to go feed her. Like, Lizzo to me is that person to where she starves for attention. Hence why we see her do the things that she does. People who are not starved for attention don't behave that way. They don't. Think about it. Do the average person you're around, do you see them behaving that way? Think about growing up in your own lives when you've seen people act out, whether you were in school, in your own household, in your family. Have you peeped the ones who be doing the absolute most? They want attention. Like, think about it. And you guys said, or some of the more mature people, like, look at them. They just want some attention. Like, this is what's going on here. And it's so sad. And it's so plainly obvious for someone like me. And I'm like, with all the riches in the world and all the resources she have, the fact that she hasn't been able to get help for it. And what lets me know is that she hasn't, is because she still is getting on camera crying. That lets me know right there. Because if she was getting the help or support she was needing, she wouldn't be doing that. She would have a whole counselor or somebody, a support system to call on if she had that. Clearly, that does not exist. And it's very sad, and it's very dangerous. It's very dangerous for her mental health. Karen from Izzo of Champion. She should seek therapy. Yes, she should seek therapy. And out of all these times she come on camera, I never hear her bring up therapy. She just talks about what she wants out of other people, which is for them to be nice to her. It's like she's looking for other people to do the work. She never talks about what she can do. It's, okay, I'm trying to do this for y'all. If people should be nice to me, people are so mean. But it's never taught. She never addresses her own self-care. She's never even said, well, my counselor has advised. Like, she's never even mentioned a counselor before. It's always, this is how you guys are making me feel. You guys are so mean. I want to lose weight, or, I want a man. Like, it's never anything about, that goes back to that whole accountability piece. Like, that part, she don't even say anything about. And then you write a song like this, and then you cry because people, you're writing a song that has, some negative stuff about you, like sleeping with people, hoeing around, like, but then you cry when someone says, like, okay, I'm confused. I'm so confused. It's like you go out there, do the absolute most, and then you cry at the response you get when you do the absolute most. Listen. Usa. Kareen, she's not realistic. Yes, people are mean, but you are A-list. celebrity now. Get therapy and get off social media. Go, yeah, social media. Yes, that get off. Like, did you hear she talking about? Well, they don't know I'm in here crying, so I'm crying to y'all. They let you know it's for attention. No, you're not going out there crying to you because they gonna be like, girl, come on now. We've been here. We done told you the best. They hating. Come on, wipe your tears. Come on, let me redo your makeup. We on it. We got a schedule. We ain't got time for this. We got a schedule. We got some places to be. They don't have time. It comes out. They don't have time to deal with it. They don't care. Everyone is trying to get to the bag because when she gets to the bag, they get to the bag because they rely on her. She is the brand. They can't make money off of her without her doing her part, because without her, they all unemployed. That's why she ain't going to them crying. She coming to the world because we not dependent on anything from her, like money or anything like that. So she like, well, I need somebody to feel sorry for. So let me just go to the world. And I feel like it's like she's trying to guilt people into just accepting her as she is, because she feels like, well, that's easier than putting in the work to make some changes in my life, such as going and getting, seeking counsel or consistently being on my grind for my workout. I truly believe that if she had the right people in her corner, she can address and deal with all of her shortcomings in a healthy way. She can present the best version of her life, of herself to the world. If she had the right people in her corner, pushing her, encouraging her to do just that. Lizzo's no different than me, you, Rose, Kareem. Like, just think about our own lives. The people that we have in our lives that speak positivity into us, the things that we're motivated by. Lizzo is no different, but as we think about those things, don't we have to put the work in? Anything that we want to accomplish, didn't we have to put the work in ourselves? Yes, it's no different. And Lizzo, she don't want to put the work in. I'm a celebrity. I don't want to work that hard. I just want people just to accept me. I'm the bomb. I can play the flute. I can twerk and play the flute at the same time. I can do the splits. Like, I'm doing stuff out here that other people ain't doing. So they should just love me as I am. I'm Lizzo. And it does not work that way, sis. It never has, and it never will. Rose Gold. We could argue that she's a narcissist. These entertainers go to their Instagram pages for their narcissistic supply. Listen, like I've seen some narcissists that do cry. I guess I don't follow, I don't follow Lizzo enough to see. So one characteristic I haven't seen play out in Lizzo is her appearing to be self-absorbed or more superior than the next. I never picked up that vibe from her. And I know when you're dealing with a narcissist, that's kind of like an energy you'll pick up where they're all about self. And I've never picked that energy up. I generally pick up constantly with her being like a people person. I pick up more of her just being someone who's dealing with emotional traumas. Maybe some traumas that is resulting in her demonstrating the behaviors that she demonstrates. So that's just kind of me and what I've, picked up from her. But people, we're all different. We can pick up different things from people. So, you just never know, Rose Gold. But I think what we all can agree on is that someone needs to wrap their arms around her quickly, and she needs a strong support system, and she don't need people in her life to just tell her what she wants to hear. And again, these are the type of things that I've heard Dr. Boyce Watkins talk about, where it's not about him not liking her, want to shame her. It's about him pointing out, sis, you really have to do better, and these are the reasons why. And I'm saying this is because I do like you. I care about you and I want you to be here. I want you to have longevity in this game. And at the route that you're going, that is not going to be the case. You're not taking care of yourself. I wonder how is her heart? How is her sugar levels? Diabetes, all kinds of stuff we can look at her and presume that she may have going on. And again, it would just be a presumption because we don't know. But more often than not, when someone is obese, let alone morbidly obese, there's multiple things from a health wise that's going on with that person. Karine, I heard the machine is paying her to stay fat. However, her entire public persona looks problematic. Right. I believe it. That's why I think a lot of times she cries is because deep down she would like to make a change that would result in a change in her appearance. But the machine, like, yo, listen, that's not, we ain't paying you to be over here trying to um be looking skinny, you trying to be like Kelly Rowland. That, like, that's not what we back put all this money in for. We want you to look like this because you're something different out here. And there's people out here who look like you, are very similar to you, that can relate to you. And we're able to make money off of that. So we need you to just be good with what you look like, embrace it, get your check, go take a vacation. And if you need you a man on side, you got enough money to go get whatever man that you want, period. Like, that's what that's what I feel like what the pep talk is to her, which is why she didn't want to go out there and tell them people she was crying. She got on her live and started crying to us because she already know the deal. They done probably told her, look, don't be coming to us crying no more because you know what it is. You want to go back to living in your apartment. Listen, because if you don't abide by these rules or what we had, and it's a contractual agreement, then you're going to be out in your butt. Oh, we're suing you because you're not going to be able to be you're not going to be able to live up to your contract. So I think she got a whole lot that she crying over, y'all. That's been my observation. That's what I feel. She's crying because she want to change, but deep down she can't because her money and her brand is on the line. Can you imagine being in a position like that? Can you imagine not being able to move how you want to move because somebody's holding something over your head? And that is something that nobody knows. And people just looking at you like, well, why don't you just change? Why don't you do this or that? But they don't know that someone is holding something over you, almost like feel like somebody blackmailing you. And it's like, wow, I want to do this, but they saying if I do that, they're gonna go and tell this. Like, that's the position I feel like she's in. How old is Lizzo? I don't know. We'd have to look that one up. Let me see. I don't know. I know she's pretty young. She might still be in her 20s. She's not that old. She's not that old at all. Yeah, Lizzo, she's pretty. She was born in 88. So Lizzo's, oh no, she's in her third. She's 33. So I think probably she was probably in her 20s when she kind of got on the scene. But she's 33, so old enough to know better, but she definitely needs to, get that weight off of her. And I truly feel like if she were to get the weight off of her, Rose Gold 33. Thank you, Rose Gold. I truly feel like if she were to get the weight off of her, she would feel better. I feel like she would feel better and she would look better. But here's the thing. I feel like her brand would take a hit. What do you guys think? Do you guys think that if Lizzo were to lose weight, like to where it's like dramatic, let's just say she lost half of the weight. Let's just say she got under 200 pounds. I don't know how tall she is, but let's just say regardless of how tall she is, a healthy weight is going to be under 200 pounds for a female. Do you guys think that her popularity would still be there? Do you think that that money would still be coming in the way that it's coming in? Lizzo has built this lifestyle, and this lifestyle is based off of the money that's continuously coming in. Do you think that she would be able to sustain the lifestyle that she has with the money not coming in the way that it came in before she were to lose weight? As a small girl, would she be able to get the big bag? Because right now, as a big girl, she get the big bag. As a small girl, what would it be? A little bag? Would it be a small bag? Would it be a bag, period? Or would people be like, who's Lizzo? Oh yeah, I remember her from back in the day. Hey Brittany, nice of you to join us. Girl, go on. And we just talking about Lizzo, so chime in. Corinne, I think it would take a hit, but she can generate a new audience in the long run. So the question I'm asking is like, if Lizzo were to lose weight, do you guys think that her profit remain the same? Do you think her money would be coming in the same? I personally don't think so. Like I said, I'm using just Jasmine Sullivan, when Jasmine's lost that weight. Hey, let's take it back to what's the American Idol girl? What's her name that was up there? Was she at the time with Fantasia? Jennifer Hudson. Y'all think Jennifer, like, to me, I feel like Jennifer Hudson, when she lost that weight and got down to being super small, I don't feel like her popularity held on like it did prior to her losing all that weight. What y'all think? Because we rarely hear from her. I know she just had a movie came out. My mom went to see it. I would like to see it. Have any of you guys seen it? But I really like Jennifer Hudson, and I think she looks good. But I feel like when she lost the weight, I feel like she became more mainstream, or more commercialized. But at the same time, it's almost like when it came to like her music and her sing, I feel like her image was pushed more with the smaller version of Jennifer Hudson. But the talk of her music and the vocals and all of that, to me, it just seemed like that chatter wasn't there like it used to be. I don't know if it's just me. So y'all have to let me know y'all thoughts. Rose Gold, her brand is what's holding her back. Her brand is what's holding back her weight loss, period. That's what I've been saying, Rose Gold. I agree. Brittany, I definitely think Lizzo gets flack because she wears little clothing while being big. If she was shaped like Beyonce, it wouldn't be a big deal. No, it wouldn't be a big deal. Sure not. It surely wouldn't. Just think about, like, do you guys ever be out and about and you see somebody big and you might think like, wow, okay, that's what she wearing, versus like, say, if you had seen somebody smaller that had that crop top on. Yeah. Definitely. It's just the way it is. It's like people just feel like, just in there, they just feel like, okay, when you're a certain size or say a certain age, you shouldn't be doing certain things. Now, is that your call to say what somebody should or shouldn't be doing? No, but the reality is that people do it. Rose Gold, every time she talks about losing weight and eating healthy, the white feminists clown her. Yeah. Because I bet you they clowning her because they got weight on it. Like, people don't want to see her looking a certain way because people just don't want to. It's for some reason, I don't feel like the men get that type of energy when they lose weight, but it just seems like women, it just seemed like when they start altering, it's like as though they get oh, well, what you doing that for? Like, it's a different type of energy. Like, it's not even an option for it to be because you want to be healthy. It's just the criticism. Oh, you too skinny, or are you sick? Like, it's always like this negative connotation, like, but you don't really hear, to me, the energy towards the man isn't like it is when it's the woman that's losing weight. I don't know. I just feel like the female, like, just gets more slack when they make this dramatic change to their body. They got to like start justifying the why. Oh, you trying to conform. That's why I really feel like if Lizzo were to get to a healthy weight, her dancing, it's going to hit different. Like, her been up there dancing. Like, to me, I feel like if Lizzo loses weight, Lizzo going to go in the category with all the other skinny girls. city girls, whatever, like she gonna be in a category with them. It's not gonna be anything quote unquote special about her. Because right now, what makes Lizzo stand out is the fact that she's obese and ain't nobody else in her category, period. So it's almost like she got her own little category. So she's separate from like your Cardi B, your city girls, or anybody else who got the smaller, healthier body, whether it's bought or not. Like Lizzo is not in their category. She's in a category by herself. So because she's in a category by herself, that's to me where her success comes from. But if she gets into the category with them, I don't feel like she's going to be able to compete. Rose Gold, I think the Black community would be more accepting of her. I don't know. I can't say it because, like I said, I think like most of the Black category, I think because she came out as a big girl, people collectively, as far as like the women, because I see a lot of women, yeah, you look good. Like, I don't know. It sounds nice, but I honestly don't think that support is going to be there. I think they're going to look at her as, oh, you changed for them. Like, I think someone who's smaller, who was already smaller, would still appreciate her. But somebody who was Lizzo size, and I think most of the fans are Lizzo size or right around that. Brittany. It's not right. However, I also think she needs to grow a thicker skin as a celebrity. 3 options: either tone it down, lose weight, or stop caring about what people say the way she pretends not to. I agree. Like, you have to have a thick skin anytime you're presenting yourself to the world. Even if, say, just being on YouTube, like it's something that I have to take into an account. Like, everybody not going to like me. Like, everybody not going to say something positive about me. Everybody not going to think I'm attractive. Everybody not going to think I'm ugly. Like, it's things to where, as I say, when you know who you are, somebody else can't come along and tell you otherwise. I know who I am. So when you decide to get into an industry and you're putting yourself on a stage, you have to know who you are and be secure in that, because if not, you will break. Period. You will break. And Lizzo is someone that shows me that it's very evident that she's not a woman who's happy with who she is. Like, she wants to be something else. Like, and so I feel like she tries to just align herself with, like I heard someone talking, I don't know if it was in the line of the song, where in high school, she was the onlooker of looking at like your popular girls, and now hanging with Cardi B. It's like, now it's like I'm hanging with one now. So it's almost like she's gone through life with trying to be accepted, feel accepted, and her doing these antics, it gets her a seat at the table, even if it means compromising herself. In her mind, well, at least I got a seat at the table, even if I had to sell myself out or do something that I didn't really want to do. I had to take one for the team. And as a result of that, I got fame, I got the bag, like, but look what you gave up in exchange for that. And that's what, when we see the tears, it's not lining up. How she's feeling after the fact. It's just like, I did all this and that. And it's like, damn, like now I'm feeling a way that I did that because I don't feel good. Kareem, I think she does not look good. There is a standard size and Lizzo doesn't fit it. It's unfortunate, but in her line of work, she needs to look the part. It is what it is with entertainment. Have you guys ever heard, like, if you don't have the greatest voice, that's fine. But if you at least got a look, they can work with you. Like, think about some of the entertainers to where, let's just use Sierra, the singer, as an example. Ain't nobody ever said that Sierra had this just great range, just amazing voice or nothing like that. But no one ever argues that Sierra doesn't have the look. So you can go further in the industry from what I've seen when you have the look versus if you're someone who has the vocals but don't have the look. Have you guys ever heard stories of people say, well, they used my vocals, but they put some other girl and in the video, but it was with my vocals because, you know, my image, the way I looked, it wasn't what they thought would be appealing. Like, you see, so it's like the image, the look goes further than the vocals. Like, you know, what they got auto tune, like they can go in the studio and they can like throw it something, use technology to try to, you know, make you sound good. Y'all remember when Cassie came out singing Puff Daddy's ex? And y'all, I don't know if you guys are, you know, old enough to remember like 106 in Park, and when she was on there singing and how she sounded. Mind you, she didn't sound like that record because remember they had all kinds of extra stuff to enhance her voice, but she looked good. So then when she came on Dixon Park and performed, I think that probably was the end of Sis's career because I don't think she came back out. Next thing you know, she was just booed up with Puffy, and then he had her modeling some clothes in his clothing line because it was a wrap. Because people are like, yeah, it didn't quite work out. And back then, that was too before they started using that I don't know if it's called auto tune, where they where they put something over your voice. Like, I think that was like before they started doing all that. But yes, that little career was short lived. So next thing we seen her doing was modeling clothes with Sean John. Brittany, the white woman get upset out of insecurities because women's currency is based on our looks. So there's always competition. Fear you will end up looking better than you. That part, yes. And I think that's what a lot of things when women comment on your weight loss, or any, you know, ladies, and like, have you all ever experienced making a change for the better that you feel was for the better to your body, and then somebody kind of low-key shades you or say something like, girl, you getting too small, or you don't look healthy, or you all right, or, you know, that's more often than not coming from an insecurity that they have, or a jealousy that they have, that they've seen you make some moves for the better that they hadn't been able to do for themselves. And that's not your fault. And a lot of times, like I said, if we're not secure in ourselves, we can take that on and be like, oh, well, maybe, you know, maybe I should kind of stop walking so much. You know, maybe I did, you know, get a little too small. So yes, that is a real thing. It's easy for somebody beside you to not want to see you win because they don't want you outshining them. That is a real thing. People oftentimes do not want to see you outshine them. So they will say things to tear you down. They will say things that's to the contrary of motivating you to look better. They'll say, oh, girl, you look good. You don't need to lose no weight from nobody. And it can even be somebody who's small wearing a size 6 telling them that. I bet you Lizzo got people who are like super small telling her that, because they're able to benefit with being in the room with the big girl, knowing that they can get all the attention because they know typically the average man ain't trying to check for somebody who's obese. So they're going to try to say whatever to kind of keep you in that position versus trying to motivate you. That's going to put you in a category with them. So now you, their competition. Because right now, for a size 6 person, a size 26 person is not their competition. Please believe that. That ain't their competition on any day. Rose Gold, they want to feel good about being overweight, thus guilt tripping her for attempting to lose weight. Yes, I see it. That's why I say, Rose Gold, I don't feel like that fan base is going to be heavy like that if she go ahead, say, forget that, leave those comments alone, and lose weight. I don't see it. Because I truly feel like most of her fan base are overweight women. Look at if you guys seen the video, like all the dancers in her videos was like her size. Like they were like right around her size. I believe her primary fan base are women of different cultural groups, but women that are her size. So that's why they're going to be in the comments uplifting her. Yeah, girl, don't worry about, because I really think the ones who are maybe talking about her weight, like it's more so probably men. if you really were to look at it from the sex, I believe it's probably men who are the ones kind of shaming her when it comes to her body, not so much women, because the women pretty much looking like her. So I don't really see them collectively shaming her. I think it's the men who are shaming her. And whether she was skinny or small, they still wouldn't check for her anyway, because y'all know we live in with these men. We live in this colorist world. And then a lot of them trying to date somebody racially ambiguous. So I don't think they would be checking for Lizzo, even if she did lose weight. But it's just an excuse or just something to talk about. They would just find something else to talk about her. But I don't think really that's the thing. She has to put in her mind that it's impossible to meet the expectations and the standards of everyone. That's anybody, because there's always going to be somebody who's not feeling you. And you know what? It's okay. Yeah, exactly. Misery love company all day. And what they say, twice on Sunday, sure does. And we got to keep that in mind as we're moving in this world. We got to, when people make comments, we got to factor that in. You also have to factor in who the messenger is. You got to factor that part in. Like, who is the person that's saying this to me? What is their situation? Is their situation less favorable than my situation? Because if that's the case, they could be saying what they're saying out of hate, envy, jealousy, or whatever word you want to use. So you got to factor that part in. And I think a lot of people don't. They just go with whatever that person said. And then by the time they start thinking about it, it's too late when they think like, that person said that because they was hating on me, because they went and did the same thing I was telling them I want to do. And they told me not to do that. Don't lose no weight, whatever. And now look, they down 20 pounds. So it was about that person like, you ain't finna outshine me. I'm finna do it first. So I'm finna encourage you to go ahead and get 2 Whoppers when we go out to eat, because she already got in her mind. She got plans to get fine, for have a hot girl summer, and you ain't even know, but she wasn't finna try to have you outdo her. And a lot of times it's an afterthought after we've listened to that person who we thought really was in our corner, that we saying, you know what? She set me up. She just said that, because look what she doing now. She told me, she unrecommended, told me not to do it. So I didn't do it. And now look at her doing it. Like, y'all, that stuff's real. You listen. I lost over 80 pounds. I know all about that journey. Rose Gold, that is awesome. And I know it was hard work. I lost 20 pounds since the pandemic, and I know what kind of work that took. So 80, that's awesome. But did you receive a different type of response from people during your weight loss journey? Was it all favorable? Was it all like, that's awesome? Or were some people comment, girl, why are you losing weight? Are you losing too much? Like, what kind of feedback did you get? Because everybody's not for you. Everybody's not rooting for you. And I'm happy that you still lost that amount of weight, regardless of whether or not people was in your corner or not. Because there's so many people who would love to lose weight like that. Lizzo would love to lose. Look, if Lizzo lost 80 pounds right now, which we think we seeing her tail doing the most right now, we really would be seeing her out there twerking it up if she lost 80 pounds. You wouldn't be able to tell her nothing. Because if Lizzo lost 80 pounds, you would be able to see it. You would still, she'd still be a big girl, but you would be able, 80 pounds is still a lot. So you would be able to see it. And I feel like she would be doing it, like she would be ecstatic. But she don't know. She don't know how to lose 80 pounds. She don't have the tools to do it. And that's the problem, because it's definitely attainable. You did it. Many other people did it. I've lost weight. It just comes down to intent, will, motivation. What's another word? Consistency. focus, like those things, those same things that it takes for her to be awesome in her craft. It's those same skills. That's the thing about it. It's the same skills that she applies to be the artist that she is today. Those skills would need to be applied for her weight loss. She can use dancing as part of her like you can do it, but it's just about your mindset and how you view it. And her mindset, she's not in a healthy place. And it's sad that she's not, but only she can change that. Only she can change her reality, her situation. But it starts with her wanting to. It starts with her feeling like she has to, just for the sake of living. It's a matter of life or death. She has to feel like I have to do this for me so I can live, because I can't go on anymore like this. It almost like you have to be at like this breaking point where you're like, I can't do this anymore. I got to do something different. I feel like I'm dying inside. I'm a self-destruct. I got to do something different. And what that look like for me is going to look different for you. Everyone has their thing that's their breaking point where they're like, you know what? I can't do it anymore. Just like you might see somebody or your girl in a bed, dead in relationship, and she's still in there. You can't get tired for someone else. I can't get tired for Lizzo. You guys can't get tired for Lizzo. Lizzo has to get tired for Lizzo. And until Lizzo is tired, and tired do not equate tears, because by the time she get tired, she's all cried out. You ever been in a situation where you just like, I can't even cry about it no more. I just got to be about it. What they say, don't talk about it, be about it. You got to be in that mindset. And she's not in that mindset yet. She's still in that feel sorry for me mindset. So we're not going to see any results. It's just a matter of, we'll be seeing her back out here before Halloween. Like literally you can like set your clock on it. She'll be back on her socials crying again, looking for people to give her validations. And it's just like a spin cycle, and it's doing absolutely nothing for her. That's the sad part. It's doing nothing for our girl. Nothing. And it just makes it more apparent that her team sucks. What is your mom saying to you, Lizzo? How do you have your baby going feeling these emotions and you not there saying, baby, we got to get help. We going to counseling. We going together. Do you guys believe that if her mom said something like that to her, Lizzo would do it? If mom said, listen, we can go together, because I'm sure a lot of Lizzo's traumas and stuff, it stems back to childhood and things that her mom, it was the influence of. Or do mom got, her hand out, baby, you all right, you beautiful. Like, is she one of those that fall in the category of anti going to counseling? Girl, we got Jesus. We about to just pray about it. Praying is awesome. But what they say, prayer without work, it's like the work part is missing. Whether you are praying or not, you still got to put the work in. It don't stop at just the prayer. You got to put the work in. Ain't nobody trying to encourage her to do that other than the work of twerking on the stage. The work of doing TikTok videos. Like, how is that working for you, sis? Because to me, it looks like it's not working at all. So how about us trying something different? See, Liz don't need a friend like me in her life. Somebody to be like, sis, come on, let's talk. Because this right here, we need to talk. This is what we need. We need to talk, but that's what friends do. And she said that she doesn't have any friends. Look at these lyrics. I got them on my screen. Read those lyrics, guys. Let me know if you can't read them, but read those lyrics. Like, she's hurting. She's hurting. And it's a sad situation. I don't feel sorry for her as far as, oh, her crying because we talking about I feel disheartened for the fact that she don't have the proper people in her corner to help her through this. As I said before, think about not having anybody in your life in your corner to help you through with anything that you are going through, or even if you lost weight, not having a support system around, somebody to say, girl, do that thing, you looking good, keep going. Like, what would your life look like if you had zero supports? What would your life look like if you actually said, I don't have any friends? I know someone who don't have any friends, and their life looked very lonely. I can't even imagine not having a friend. Not one. Can you? Like, I can't. How think about the roles that our friends play in our life, the things our friends have helped us get through. Think about the type of friend you are. Think about the type of friend you are. If Lizzo was your friend, what would you say to her? Like, what would you say to her? Like, she in her everything she said on that little video, you guys probably seen it. What would you say to her if y'all was talking one-on-one? Or what would you say to her after she finished doing that live? Would you encourage her? Would you say, girl, you look good. Don't worry about what them people saying to you. Get out there, get that money. I want to be in the next video. Would you say, Lizzo, you need to take a break. Come on, you need to get help. Let me help you. I'm going to go along the journey with you. We're going together, maybe try to find somebody that can help you. You need to take some time off. You need to focus on you. You need to figure out what that is, what that thing looks like as far as what you want for yourself. You need to start living for yourself. Let's talk about what you want, what makes you happy. Let's remove anybody around you as far as that you support. If they weren't even a factor and it was just all about you, what would your life look like? What would your world look like? What would you look like? How about that? What would you look like? That's the conversation that should be had with her. Because when that conversation is had, then I don't see why you see the lives with tears. Like, who else in the, in the industry we see every other month, every 2 months crying? Like, think about it. We might have seen other people cry before, but who do we see that do it as regularly as Lizzo? I can't think of anyone. If y'all can think of somebody, please drop it in a comment. Also, anyone who's on, I thank you. Please like, share, subscribe, set your notification bell so you know when I go live. Thank you for my new subs. I'm growing, trying to get out there. I thank you for the new subs that have joined. But Chic Say What is just a YouTube channel where I come. My name is Chic. And I just talk about what's going on in the world, and I just give my insight, and it just comes from my background, my personal opinion, and the research that I conduct in preparations for my videos. So thank you for joining, and please continue to come back. But I just really felt the need to come out here and just do a video to talk about Lizzo, because I haven't been really feeling how she's been moving lately. I just don't feel like she's been taking care of herself. And at this point, I'm irritated because I'm like, sis, it's time to stop crying. It's time to start doing the work. Like, what is this crying? It's not doing anything for us. It's not getting us anywhere. It's just getting people talking about whatever you may believe your shortcomings maybe. Like that's all it's doing. And it's not doing nothing for you. It dang sure ain't doing nothing for the world. I mean, it's getting people clicks and views as they talk about it, but most importantly, it's not doing anything for you. And that's who who you need to be focused on. You need to be focused on you. And not all this other stuff that you got going on. Did you guys see the clip? I hadn't seen it yet with her. I guess she did a TED Talks or something like that, and she twerked. Did any of you guys see that? Because I heard about it, but I didn't go out and check that out. I think I got caught up in some of the other stuff that's been going on. I've been really kicking out a lot of content lately. Just, more content you kick out, the more, traffic you get and subs and things like that. So I've been trying to kind of really kick it up. But if any of you guys seen that, drop it in the comments if you guys seen her TED Talks. And they said she started twerking on the stage. If you didn't, I guess you can go check it out. I'll have to go try to find that too. And that just came out maybe like a week or so ago. So I can't imagine it was collective favorable feedback for that. So I don't know why she's crying over what they had to say about the rumors video versus the other thing she did or her twerking at the TED Talks. Because I've seen different TED Talks, but I can't imagine somebody being on the stage twerking given the type of environment, that it is. It's, to me, I look at it as like more of a serious, like business type environment, not no club situation where you getting down like that. So twerking, TED Talks, they don't even go in the same sentence to me. So supposedly she twerked it when she did a TED Talk. So I don't know what she was up there. Like, that's the sad part, to where she could have been talking about like something really positive, but I don't even know what that was, because the focal point became her twerking. That's that stuff I'm talking about. So you can't do things like that, but then get in your feelings when people say something that's unfavorable about it, or people tell you not a good look for the culture. I did a video recently about the culture, the Black culture. Is the Black culture trash? And check that out if you haven't. But this is the type of stuff that I feel like people use as an example when they say the Black culture is trash. Like, I mean, like, how do you argue that? Like, with today's culture, like, I cannot argue that. Like, I can't. So like I said, on that video, I talked about it and just talked about the things that go into, the current collective like opinions of like the shortcomings and things within our community, as far as our quality of our schools, the music, our health. It's like, what's a category where we're collectively winning in? And when I say winning, it's not necessarily defined by money, because our artists, our musicians, our rappers, our singers, they're getting money. But let's drill down into the quality of that content. What are they talking about? Are they speaking positive things? That's the part I'm talking about. That's the part that people argue being considered trash, the quality of it, because our youth, our children are listening to that. It's not about the money that they're making because of it. Just like with Lizzo twerking and dancing, showing her butt, like, it's not about her getting the likes. It's about the impact, the message that is sending within our community. A lot of kids follow Lizzo on TikTok, and she does a lot of questionable things on TikTok. So is that something positive for our community? Like, it's not about, okay, her being fat or not. It's about, okay, what are you doing? Let's talk about that part. Let's not even talk about what your body look like. Let's talk about What are you giving? Are you giving positivity for our community? Same with what Lil Nas X, what are you giving? Is not about like, okay, your sexuality, just whatever it is that you subscribe to. What are you giving for our community? Are you giving positive energy to the community? Are you sending positive message for the community? Are you a positive example? Like, it's layers to it. That's the question when we think about the quality of just our culture. Is it things that we can collectively benefit from? That part. And many do not feel like we can. Do we have aspects of our culture that other cultural groups say, oh, we need to learn from the Black culture, we need to do this better? Like, can you think of something where they're thinking collectively, okay, white culture, we need to do this better, so let's try to incorporate what the Blacks doing so we can do it over here better? Like, I don't know. If you know any examples, please drop it in the comments, because I can't think of any. But that's what I mean when I talk about, I guess, our culture. Are we that culture that others saying, look, the Black culture is winning. We need the blueprint. We need to talk to somebody. Like, I'm not talking about, say, a particular individual. I'm talking about just examples within a culture that people can, other cultures can say, wow, collectively, that culture is doing the doggone thing in that area. And we want to take that and apply it within our culture. That part, like, can you think of anything like that? That, those are the questions that come up as people evaluate the quality of our culture collectively in today's time, not our past, but in today's time. In today's time. That's, what I mean by that. So, as I said, normally, next thing you know, Lizzo, she gonna be happy and doing dances and acting like it's all good in the hood in the next day or two, and it'll be like forgotten about until the next episode. Because at this rate, there will be another episode. It's just a matter of when. And based on her track record, we got at least another 2 times before this year is out, because we're only in August. So we got at least another good 2 times to see Lizzo crying and in her feelings again, and telling the world to do whatever to her body part. Like, that's the part. How do you go from crying, talking about people not loving you, liking you, accepting you, to ending it with telling them to lick your body part? Like, I was so lost. Like, how do we, like, I think bipolar, like, how do we get from how that video started to how it ended? I just don't get it. That just lets me know how much healing she needs, because that made absolutely no sense. And it just made it that more apparent that she is going through some things. Where do they do that at? Where do they do that at, Lizzo? Like, I don't call myself per se a Lizzo fan. She has music that I do like, but I've never bought any of her music. I don't follow her. She's just another artist to me. I don't talk about her or badmouth her. It's just that when I do see her on the internet crying, it's just like, okay, here we go again. Listen, sis, if you're not trying to put the work in to make any changes, I don't want to hear it. That's just my personality. I'm not trying to hear anyone like cry or whine if they're not up for putting the work in. That's just me. That's just regardless of who you are, because what you're not going to get out of me is just cries, and then I'm not following up with what my game plan is to change my situation. Because it's fine to cry, but you have to follow up with, okay, this is what I'm about to do to improve my situation. Like, it has to come with that. You can't just leave it at, You just crying and in your feelings about what's not working for you. That part I just can't do. I cannot do that. And that's kind of where I'm at with Lizzo. I can't with her. Because at this point, when I see you doing that, it just becomes, okay, it's just about attention. It's nothing more. It's just strictly you wanting attention. And, you know, I'm not giving you that because that's just not what I do. Go talk to your mama. That's just not what I do. What I can do is talk to you about trying to get help for what it is that you're crying about. We can talk about that. But if you're not interested in solutions, then I don't have anything for you. And I feel like Lizzo's not interested in solutions. I don't see anything playing out in her life that shows that she's interested in solutions, because you haven't seen any changes. You just continue to see her do the same antics, shenanigans, the same foolery. But though she crying, like, okay, ma'am. Well, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you, but, okay. That's all I got. And I think her people in her circle, they're like, okay, girl, you all right. You be fine. You fine. Get on out there. Like, nobody trying to like deal. Like, it's like a little kid, like I said, just crying out for attention. And they don't know what to do. Like a little kid don't know, you know, they just gonna cry for attention. They don't know, okay, well, to get favorable, to get what I want, or like I need to act good. Like that don't in the beginning at 2, that's they not comprehending that. They just want what they want. And it's like, I'm gonna cry until you give me what I like. That's what I feel like Lizzo is doing. But as we see, she's 33 years old. So we can't have the same patience with you as we would a 2-year-old. We just cannot. You're 33. You're not 2 anymore. You got to do something about it, sis. So until you're ready to do something about it, then I'm going to continue to click off and go on to the next story. Like, that's it. And I think collectively, that's kind of the energy she's getting, you know, from people. Nobody's like here. Everybody's like, okay, because the next antic she do, people come at her with the same energy. Like, yo, this is the stuff I'm talking about. Like, it's not changing. And she still keeps doing the same thing. I'm confused. What is going on? You need couch time. You need psychological evaluation. And that's not to be funny. Like, that's real legit stuff. Like, really. And you telling somebody to FR cussing them out, telling them what to do with your body parts, that's doing nothing but making you look that much more crazy in these streets. I need for you to know that. That's all it's doing. It's really shining a light on your insecurities when you cut up like that. When you cut up, it shines a light on your insecurities. That's just period with people. Like when you act up, people, it makes people kind of side eye you like, oh, okay, this is what we doing. Like it don't make you look good in any way. That's not how you get attention. You don't get attention by acting out. People just view you as childish. They step over you and they move on. Period. They're not sitting there and soaking. They're not doing that. They're stepping over you and moving on. Lizzo comes off to me as someone who's very lonely. She looks lonely, like her life. Like I'm not blinded. Like there's people I see just in my everyday life that I see got fat bank accounts, but they're lonely. No friends, no significant other. They're lonely. There's a lot of lonely people in this world. And a lot of them have money, nice cars. A lot of them are attractive, nice body. They're lonely. It's a lot of lonely people. But people try to cover it up with things. Me, I see through that. I don't know about y'all, but I'm a type of person. I always say people is my favorite subject because I analyze people and I see through it. And I see a lot of people hide behind material things. It's easier. It doesn't require work. People don't want to work. They don't want to feel, they don't want to stop and deal with whatever their stuff is because they don't want to feel. It's like, oh, I don't want to feel that emotion. Oh, wait, yeah, he's no longer around. I don't want to talk about him no more. But that issue, it's still impacting your life today because it has you stagnant to where you can't even move on to move to the next. Even though that person physically isn't around, but there's still that emotional hold there because they hurt you so badly to where you still can't even bring yourself to move on to do something different. Why? Because you haven't stopped to deal with it. You try to cover it up. You try to bury it. You try to buy some new clothes to cover it up, buy a new car, buy a new house, make more money, throw yourself into work. Some people throw themselves into work. You throw yourself into the gym. You just do anything that to have you to not have to deal with that thing, to deal with your ish. You don't want to deal with it. So you get distracted. You find things to distract you. But guess what, y'all? That don't last forever. That distraction can be temporary, but it don't last forever. At some point, you're either going to deal with it or you're going to leave this world still with that being an issue or something you were dealing with. So which means you're not going to leave this world being at peace. So it's still going to plague you. So you might as well deal with it, because who wants to go through their life feeling just this void, this pain, this whatever it is? Because it's going to be there. It's going to stay there until you deal with it. So you can choose act like it's not a thing if you want to, but it's going to play out in the quality of your relationships. It's going to show up. Even if that person don't know where all of whatever that you coming with is rooted from, but it's going to result in that person saying, you know what, I can't do this, or, the relationship fizzling. But we can't run from our problems. You have to deal with it. You have to. That's Lizzo on down, or even Lizzo on up. You have to deal with your stuff. We got to deal with our stuff. And I think in our community, that's just a big thing. We got so many traumas, generational traumas. Just the example we seen was people not dealing with things, people brushing things under the rug, these generational secrets, and you're carrying them on. Then you're piling more secrets on top of them. And then you self-destruct, meaning you get to a place like Lizzo where you're breaking down, you're crying a lot, you feeling like you lost, like that's that depression that's set in. Like nobody can deal with that or fix that but you. Kareem, your commentary is amazing. Found your channel a few days ago and a new subscriber. Thanks you, Kareem. Listen, I just come in here. I live by each one, teach one. Like I say, I like to study people, behaviors. Like that's my thing. And I'm just bringing this because normally I do this in my personal life. So that's what gravitates people to me. But with the pandemic, it's brought me where I'm kind of home more. So it's like, okay, well, let me get on YouTube and share some things, because this is what I do. I like to speak light into people. And I feel like it's not many of us who have that somebody in their life to speak light into them. It's easy to say something negative, but that does us no good. We need to hear the positivity. We need to be uplifted. And I feel like that's very lacking in our community. We don't have enough people speaking positive into us. People are hurting. Hurt people hurt other people. on my platform, I don't come, it's not about bashing anybody. It's about me giving my opinion on a situation and sharing like how it can be, how a situation can be improved, how we can do better. That, let's get the dialogue, going. Let's talk about this because we have to talk about these things. And maybe, I come on to learn from other people, to learn other views, because as a collective for our culture, we're not winning. And I think we're not winning is because we're dealing with a lot of pain and a lot of hurt. And instead of dealing with that, we're just inflicting it on one another. And that goes into people's comments, or, hurt people hurt other people. Happy people don't go around hurting people. Happy people, they go around being a light in people's lives. Hurt people hurt people. You guys ever heard that before? Like, that's a real thing. Hurt people hurt people. And Lizzo getting all this hate and saw that those people are hurt just as she's hurt. And then, and you notice at the end of her video, she says disrespectful, hurtful things. Hurt people hurt people. She is a hurt person who said some things to hurt somebody else before dropping the mic. You see? So, yeah, the Black culture. Corinne, I'm proud of you at Rose Gold. That's awesome. Keep up the great work. We just have to motivate each other. Rose Gold, I'm sure you're a walking motivation for other people. When you lose 80 pounds, that goes without being seen. That's visual. Like, we're taking notice of that. It's inspiration to a lot of people. And enough people may not say those things, but that's what people really are feeling. But some people may not necessarily even say those positive things, but it is a positive. And again, it's about how you feel and you feeling good. And we got to do things for us and not for other people, because when you do things for you, you can sustain it. When we start doing things for other people, then you don't keep it up. Because when that person is no longer in your life, then you're no longer motivated to keep it going, because you're like, well, why I need to continue to do this? They ain't here anymore. But if you always did it for yourself, no matter who comes in and out of your life, you'll still be able to keep it up. So that's just anything that we do. We got to do it for ourselves. And Lizzo right now is living her life for other people. She's living her life for other people, and it's eating her up inside, and the world is watching. Yeah. She got to live for herself for a change. She probably's never even done it before, but at 33, it's time she start. It'll be life-changing. I can tell you that. It'll be life-changing. And even if it does result in a change in her brand, I feel ultimately, if it's a change as far as for the better and who she is, that's what's most important. Lizzo got enough money to sit down and be good forever. So even if the money stopped coming in the way it did, I feel like she's made enough money to be okay, to be more than okay. So now it's time for her to look at it in a way of saying, okay, I've made the money. It's okay if I don't sell any more records. It's time for me to take care of me. I got all the money in the world that I would never be able to just spend in one lifetime. I can afford to sit down and take care of me. Sometimes people get so caught up, and I told someone this before, and this was also, someone who was also a bigger girl. And I said, I see you pour so much into other people, family, friends, whatever, but I don't see you pour into yourself. And I don't think she ever heard anybody say that to her, because she marinated on it, called me a day or so later and said, hey, this is what I decided. I'm about to do this, that, and the third. And it's like, okay. But that's what she pulled out of it. It's like, I hadn't been doing anything for myself. I've been focusing on what I can do for other people. And all she was doing was just living this life that was evident that was a lonely life, because she was inserting her life in just other people's life and just taking on that. And it's just like, no, that's their life. Let's focus on your life. What do you want your life to look like? So now it's like she's, dating, as best you can during this, pandemic, but she refocused and she just needed for somebody to say that. Actually, I had said it before, maybe like a year ago, but I guess she wasn't ready for it. So sometimes it can be a timing thing. So you can't give up on people, because people may not be ready to receive the message at the time you deliver it. But on another occasion, they may be open to receiving it. My mom just told me that today. She said, when I asked her, why do you keep telling people these same things and they're showing they don't care? And she said, just because they're not open to receiving it today, it doesn't mean that they won't be open to receiving it, on another day that I may say it. I was like, okay. But that makes sense. People aren't always ready to hear the truth or take constructive criticism. It's okay. Corinne, I once hear you say that her father was her inspiration. I think he passed. Maybe she loss of her parents is weighing down on her grief. Excuse me. I have never heard. I've seen on her TikTok, I think she did like this video one time in between one of her crying episodes with her and with her mom, and they were dancing. But I've never heard talks of her father. So I don't know much about like a home life, or if she even has siblings or anything like that. I've never kind of explored her background like that, like to know what that looks like. So I don't know. But those are things that if she were to seek counseling, that would definitely come out. Yeah, that those things would come out, because it's like when you're in counseling, it's like a peeling of an onion. It's layers. And you have different counseling techniques, but the more common counseling technique is one that um, have you to reflect on your past, going back as far as you can remember, and kind of working your way up. That's like a common technique with counseling. So if any of you ever experienced counseling, if you can think about that, they're going to want to kind of take you back in the past. It's not necessarily like surface, oh, let's start from here and go forward. You have techniques that will do that, but your most common technique from a therapist or counselor is going to be going back to your childhood. Hey, let's talk. Let's go back to your memory of, your parent. Like you're dealing with that. So I feel like if Lizzo were to seek counseling, her father, her mom, like that's going to come up. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about your relationship with your father. Like that's going to be like a talking point. Her dad died in 2009 when she was 21. And I would like to know what kind of quality relationship she had with her dad. Because for a girl, her first love, her first relationship, male-female relationship, is with your father. That makes a difference. Like, I'm an example of someone who I didn't have that. I didn't have my biological father around. I had a stepfather around until the age of 14, and then he left. So after that, no more daddies. Like that was done. So going into like your dating years, there was no man there, to talk to about men or boys. Like it was like me going in on my own and trying to figure the thing out myself. There was no man to show me the example of what it should look like, when guy, approaches you or want to take you out, or when he comes to your home to meet your parent. Like I didn't have anybody to tell me, hey, no, that's not how you do it, or that's not how you're supposed to be treated. Like those it makes a difference. So she could have very much so had a father around until she was 21. But just because he was living, it doesn't mean that he had a presence in her life, or a positive presence in her life, or a positive impact or influence. It's about, I guess, when we have parents, it's about their impact. How are they impacting us? You can have your parents around, but they're impacting you in a negative way. So is that better than, like, say, somebody like me who just didn't physically have them around at all, if the one you had around was like a negative, a poor example, or someone who impacts you in a negative way? Is, we got to talk about the quality, the substance of something. I think it was profound. She was always talked about that he inspired her and he was her guiding light. That's why she didn't give up on her music, and because of him. That's great. So with that being said, I wonder what has her relationship been like with her mom? Sometimes people are more close to one parent than the other. So you're saying, she says she had a great relationship with her father. Did she have as equal of a great relationship with her mother? Like sometimes that one parent that was like your rock, the one you were close to, is the one that ends up being removed from your life for whatever reason. So, it's many reasons. That's why these types of things would come up, in counseling. And maybe, I know she talked about, living in a car before, I guess being homeless. I've heard her talk about that. So it's a lot. It's a lot to her. It's a lot to her. And maybe even if she sat down and even wrote a book, like sometimes writing can be therapy, because she has a story to be told. She could write a book and then in turn one day, do a biopic or whatever, have a movie, because I feel like people would really be interested in hearing her story. People love Lizzo, from probably all the way down from 2 to 82. Like, I would imagine she has a fan base that spans across all age groups. She has this big personality. She, for the most part, makes people laugh and smile, and then so she does her antics, but at the same time, I think that she can rechannel that and still be a positive, be a light to people by just making some tweaks, some tweaks to her behaviors. But in all, I feel like people love her. But I've heard people talk about, I feel like people love me for what I do, not for who I am. And I could believe that Lizzo would be someone who's like that, who believes that people love her for what she does, love her for her work, not love her for who she is. And I think, as far as the world, we don't know who she is. We just know what she puts out there. Like, we don't know her like that. Like, we just know who she's presenting. So, it goes back to, if she had self-love, she wouldn't be looking for people to be loving her. Like, she wouldn't look for that from us, from the world. So, in all, these are reasons why she needs to seek counsel. She needs help. And it is what it is. I'll continue to watch our girl Lizzo And, if there's anything worthwhile to, report on her, to bring any updates, I certainly will. I would like for you to as well, make comments, add comments in the section. Also, as I say, if there's any topics or anything going on that you guys would like for me to touch on, please, drop it in the comments. I like to read my comments. And if it's, something I feel like, hey, people would like to hear, I'll research it and bring it to you all. That's how it works over here. But we all collectively, I ask that we keep our girl Lizzo lifted in prayer, because, she is somebody. She is somebody, and she needs prayer. She needs support. And, at best, at most, maybe we can just be there for, like, in spirit, with just, doing our best to send positive energy to her, because she needs it. She needs it. So again, please like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you know when I go live. I've been going live a lot lately, so I've been tired, but I'm just trying to kick out the content for you all to keep you in the know. As I said before, I didn't want to kind of be known, to be one to kind of do celebrity entertainment, but it's so much going on with the celebs. So I kind of found myself doing it, but that's okay, because I do it my way, and my way is about speaking positivity. So me bringing the story to you all, but trying to find a positive, speaking a positive light into the situation, shedding, positivity to my listeners, and just hoping that someone who needs to hear whatever message that I deliver, that they hear it, even if it's just one person. So thank you again for your support, for subscribing, for your interaction. It helps give me energy, when I, see your comments to feed off of, and it helps me to kind of take the conversation in, like, different directions and things like that. And it definitely extends my lives, but that's okay, because I feel like, when I end it, I feel good about them. Um, and that I'm reaching people. I could tell just by the growth of my channel. So that's what motivates me. So until the next broadcast, good night. Peace.